Hi, I'm Brock Archer with Advanced Extrication. Welcome to Extrication Minutes International. Today we're going to talk about dash displacement. We're going to be using the spreader and the ram to move the dash after we've completed our relief cuts.
Hi, my name is Carlos Navarro. I'm a firefighter in the city of Tijuana. Bienvenidos a Extrication Minutes International. Mi nombre es Carlos Navarro. Soy bombero en la ciudad de Tijuana. El día de hoy vamos a ver desplazamiento de tablero utilizando la expansora y el ram.
When a significant amount of movement is required out of the dash, we want to make good, solid relief cuts before we jack the dash using the spreaders or push on the dash using the ram. In this evolution, we're going to look at using the spreaders and the ram together to move the dash. Typically, when we're jacking or lifting the dash with the spreaders, we get a lot of upward movement, and with the ram, we get a lot of forward movement. If we utilize both the spreader and the ram together, we can control that movement and in addition, overcome any ultra-high strength steel that we might encounter in that area of the vehicle.
Cuando requerimos hacer un movimiento considerable del tablero, que la víctima está por debajo, es importante hacer cortes de alivio y podemos utilizar también el ram y la expansora. Hay una técnica en la cual puedes combinar ambas herramientas, las cuales te permiten hacer más eficaz el trabajo. Esto cuando tenemos materiales como acero de ultra alta resistencia.
Now let's take a close look at the upper rail, and lower A-pillar areas of the dash so that we can make a good assessment of what we need to do to prepare to jack or lift the dash.
Ahora veremos los componentes del vehículo, que es la barra frontal, la barra transversal, el poste A y cómo se interactúan para poder hacer un mejor rescate.
Okay, let's take a look at the components that we have to consider when dash displacement is required. What we're trying to do is isolate this dashboard, this transverse bar and dash components from the rest of the vehicle. By isolating it from the rest of the vehicle, we can move it freely off the occupant. So we can double cut the A-pillar in the windshield area. That'll give us the isolation of the dash from the roof rail and the roof. We also want to make a cut in the upper rail. By making a cut in the upper rail on the windshield side of the strut tower, we have isolated the dash from the lower rail and the engine components. So we want to make a good complete cut in this area. If we're not going to make a complete cut on the upper rail and we only want to take the time to make one cut, we want to make sure that we make that cut on the lower side, come in through the wheel well to make that cut. That way, when the dash moves up and forward, it pivots open on your cut and rips the rest of the way through the rail. But again, it's important to make that cut on the windshield side of the strut tower. That way, we are actually isolating that upper rail dash area from the lower rail and suspension components. On the lower A-pillar down low, we want to make a complete cut in this area. One of the common problems we have in this area is that the tool, as we're cutting, if we come in parallel to the vehicle to make our first cut, our tool likes to turn in and migrate towards the seat and the occupant. A way to avoid that is utilize an already existing opening in the lower A-pillar to put the tip of your cutter blade. Another option is to come in and make our first cut perpendicular to the vehicle. That way, we've created a weak spot for the tool to run into and migrate out of the vehicle as we make the cut. We'll show you that in just a minute. With all of our relief cuts made, we'll be ready to move the dash. You can save yourself a little bit of time if you accept that you'll be using the ram and the spreader to move the dash. One option is to start with the ram. This way, we don't need to make two relief cuts down low to open up a gap. If you start with your ram and push your dash, you'll open up the bottom of the lower A-pillar. Once that area is opened up, we can certainly insert our spreaders then and take the dash the rest of the way, or utilize our spreaders to just hold the dash out of the way so that we can remove the ram and then get good access to the occupants. We'll show you what it looks like here in a minute.
Muy bien, ahora veamos los componentes principales para el desplazamiento del tablero. Vamos a ver lo que es el poste A en la parte inferior, el poste A en la parte que va hacia el parabrisas y lo que es la barra frontal. Es importante que ustedes identifiquen que lo que queremos hacer es de alguna forma separar todo esto de la barra transversal. Para eso ocupamos hacer un corte en el poste A superior. Podemos hacer un corte si vamos a desplazar hacia adelante. En caso de que queramos levantar, es importante hacer doble corte de alivio. También debemos de hacer un corte en la parte inferior del poste A. Y para esto es muy común que vengamos con la cortadora en este ángulo, lo cual tiende a meter la herramienta. Se recomienda hacerlo de forma perpendicular para que hagas tu corte por completo. También es importante hacer el corte en la barra frontal, ¿sí? Y se recomienda pegado hacia el lado del parabrisas por completo. En caso de que tu herramienta solamente te permita hacer un corte, se recomienda en la parte baja. Así cuando estemos desplazando, por el ángulo del corte lo va a terminar de desplazar. Podemos combinar la técnica utilizando el RAM hacia adelante y eso nos genera que se cree más espacio en la parte inferior del poste A, lo cual nos permite meter la expansora y así podemos incrementar el espacio.
Now, with all of our relief cuts complete, we can move in with the ram off of our ram plate and push the dash forward. Once we've pushed the dash forward and broken everything loose, we'll have a bigger opening down here on the lower A pillar. We can then take our spreaders and insert them into that opening. From there, we can hold the dash with the spreaders or take it the rest of the way. At that point, if we're dealing with higher strength vehicles, we can also move back and forth from the ram to the spreader, moving the dash up or forward as needed. We'll show you what it looks like.
Ya que terminamos nuestros cortes de alivio, en este caso se hizo en el poste A, barra frontal, poste A superior, vamos a colocar la base para el RAM y de esa forma podemos desplazar hacia adelante. Una vez que vamos creando el espacio, aquí también podemos combinar la técnica utilizando la expansora. Y eso nos permite utilizar ambas herramientas cuando son vehículos de última generación y que tienen metales de ultra alta resistencia. Y así vamos a poder controlar el movimiento también.
Now, as you can see, with our dash displacement complete, using the spreader in combination with the ram gives us a great result.
Ahora pudimos ver que combinar las dos herramientas da un gran resultado, crea un espacio muy grande y se trabaja de una manera sincronizada.
If at any point during the evolution one tool needs to reposition, the other tool can hold the dash in place while that reposition takes place.
Si durante la evolución es necesario reposicionar una herramienta, la otra puede sostener la carga para acomodarla de una mejor manera.
To complete the evolution, the spreader will take control of the dash and the ram can move out of the way and give us good access to our occupant.
Para finalizar la demostración, quien toma el control es la expansora. Eso nos permite poder retirar el ram y podemos seguir con el levantamiento con la expansora.
Thanks for watching our Extrication Minutes International video. We want to thank the Forest Park Fire Department for supporting us in this training. We also want to thank Hearst Jaws of Life for supplying us the tools and equipment to get the job done.
Gracias por mirar los videos de Extrication Minutes International. Queremos agradecer al Departamento de Bomberos de Forest Park y a Hearst, Quijadas de la Vida.
Take care and be safe.
Cuídense y trabajen seguro.